At Christmas, my family branded me the toxic brother and turned me away, so I cut off $252,000 and watched their fake entrepreneur life collapse overnight. I'm 31, male, a regional sales manager for a major pharmaceutical company in Denver. I make around $185,000 plus bonuses. I worked my way up from entry level through pure determination and long hours building client relationships. My family lives back in small-town Kansas where I grew up. Dad, Robert, 59, works construction when his back isn't acting up. He makes maybe $38,000 on good years. Mom, Linda, 57, works part-time at a salon, probably $22,000. Then there's my sister Jessica, 28, and oh boy, where do I even start with this piece of work? Jessica is what you'd get if you combined a Kardashian with a toddler having a tantrum, blonde, fake everything. She has never worked a real job in her entire life. I'm talking about a girl who once called me crying because she couldn't figure out how to put gas in her car. She's been studying communications at community college for 6 years, switching majors every semester because the professors don't understand her creative vision. Her boyfriend Derek, 29, is basically a walking red flag factory. He sells supplements on Instagram, drives a leased BMW he can't afford, calls himself an entrepreneur while living off unemployment, and my sister's money, which, spoiler alert, is actually my money. Growing up, money was always tight. I started working at 14 and handed over most of my paychecks to help with bills. While I was working multiple jobs and studying sales techniques, Jessica got to be the princess who needed to focus on her studies. When I landed my first real sales job making $45,000, I thought I could finally build my own life. Wrong. Family guilt is powerful. Dad's truck breaks down. I'm buying a new one. Mom needs dental work. I'm covering it. Jessica wants Cancun for spring break. Guess who's funding that vacation? But here's the kicker. To everyone else, I'm still the weird sales guy who got lucky. Jessica tells people I'm just a pharmaceutical representative who hands out free samples. Meanwhile, she's posting on Instagram about her luxury lifestyle funded entirely by my bank account. Over the past 7 years, I've sent them $142,000. That doesn't include the car I bought Dad, $25,000, Mom's dental work, $9,000, Jessica's credit card debts, $18,000 total, or their house down payment, $40,000. Jessica has this whole social media persona as a boss babe lifestyle influencer. She posts daily about workout routines, skincare, and motivational quotes about manifesting abundance. She has maybe 30,200 followers, mostly thirsty dudes and MLM people, but acts like she's the next big thing. Her bio says, entrepreneur, living my best life, DM for collabs. The entrepreneur part kills me because her only income is a Venmo account connected to my bank. She sells maybe $250 worth of detox teas per month that cost her $60 wholesale. But in her mind, she's building an empire. Derek encourages this nonsense, constantly filling her head with YouTube channel ideas and clothing line fantasies. He tells her she's too good for regular jobs and her brand is worth millions. Meanwhile, he's never held a job longer than 3 months. The worst part? They talk down to me like I'm charity they're doing a favor by accepting money from. Jessica actually told me I should be grateful she lets me help her because it makes me feel important and that I probably don't have many friends, true, but still. So being her ATM gave my life meaning. For years, I told myself I was helping family, but deep down, I knew I was funding their delusions while they chipped away at my self-respect. The breaking point came this past Christmas, and what happened next changed everything. I'd been dreading Christmas for weeks. My last relationship ended in October. Apparently dating someone who travels for work makes me emotionally unavailable, so I was going home alone again, but I figured family time might be good for me. Maybe we could actually connect for once. I drove 7 hours from Denver to our hometown on Christmas Eve. I stopped at Target for last-minute gifts. Dad got a nice Carhartt jacket, $160. Mom got a fancy skincare set, $130. And for Jessica, I don't know why I did this, I got her the new iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil because she'd been hinting about wanting to start a digital art business. That setup cost me $1,300. For context, that's more than my sister has ever spent on anyone else in her entire life. Her Christmas gifts to family are usually candles from the dollar store or random MLM products she couldn't sell. I pulled into the driveway around 7 p.m. and immediately knew something was up. There were like 6 cars parked outside, music pumping from inside, and I could see people through the windows. It looked like a full-blown party was happening. Walking up to the front door with my arms full of gifts, I could hear Jessica's laugh over everyone else. That fake loud laugh she does when she's trying to impress people. I knocked and waited. Derek opened the door, took one look at me, and his face just dropped. Oh, hey man. No smile, no Merry Christmas. Just this look like I'd ruined his day by existing. Hey Derek, Merry Christmas. Family party? Yeah. Kind of. He was blocking the doorway, not inviting me in. Jessica didn't mention you were coming? That's when I heard my sister's voice from inside. Who is it, babe? It's your brother. I swear the music got turned down and conversation stopped, like my presence had sucked all the energy out of the room. Jessica appeared next to Derek wearing this tight red dress that probably cost more than most people's rent. Her face went from party happy to annoyed in about 2 seconds. Kevin, what are you doing here? It's Christmas Eve, Jess. I drove down to spend it with family. She exchanged a look with Derek, then stepped outside and partially closed the door behind her. Look, this is kind of awkward timing. We're having a little get-together with Derek's business partners and some influencer friends. It's kind of a networking thing. I'm standing there with gifts in my hands, feeling like an idiot. On Christmas Eve, it's not really family time right now. You know, these are important people. She glanced back at the door. You're still in your work clothes and you look tired from driving. It's just not the vibe we're going for tonight. I looked down at myself. I was wearing khakis and a polo shirt. Clean clothes. Nothing wrong with them, but apparently not up to my sister's standards for her networking event. So I can't come into my parents' house on Christmas Eve because I'm not dressed right for your party? Don't make this weird, Kevin. It's one night. You can come by tomorrow for actual Christmas dinner. This is just business. Business, right. A business party where I could hear someone inside doing karaoke to All I Want for Christmas Is You. Are Mom and Dad okay with this? They're at Uncle Mike's house tonight. They'll be back tomorrow morning. And there it was. My parents had been banished from their own home so Jessica could throw a party for Derek's pyramid scheme buddies and her wannabe influencer friends, and now I was getting the same treatment. Jessica, I drove 7 hours to be here. And that's sweet. But you should have called first. I'm building something here, Kevin. These connections could change my life. I can't have, she gestured vaguely at me. I need people to take me seriously as a businesswoman. I couldn't even respond. My own sister was embarrassed by me, not because I'd done anything wrong, but because I wasn't part of her fake Instagram lifestyle. There's a Holiday Inn like 10 minutes down the road, she added. I'll Venmo you money for the room with my own money. She was offering to pay for my hotel room with money I'd sent her last month. I stood there for maybe 30 seconds just staring at her, waiting for the punchline or for her to crack a smile and say she was kidding. But she was serious. Dead serious. Merry Christmas, Jessica. I turned around and walked back to my car. As I was pulling out, I could see through the front window. The party had resumed, music back up, everyone laughing and drinking. My sister was already back to being the center of attention, probably telling people about how she'd handled that awkward situation. Driving to the Holiday Inn, I had this moment of clarity. This wasn't family. This was a business transaction where I was the silent investor funding their lifestyle while being kept hidden from public view. I was good enough to pay for their lives, but not good enough to be part of them. That night in the hotel room, I made the first decision that would eventually destroy everything they'd built with my money. Sitting in that Holiday Inn room on Christmas Eve, I did what any analytical person does when they're angry and can't sleep. I started examining data. I opened my laptop and pulled up every financial record from the past 7 years. Bank transfers, credit card statements, Venmo transactions. Everything. What I found was even worse than I remembered. $142,000 in direct transfers. Car payments for Dad, $25,000. House down payment, $40,000. Jessica's credit cards paid off 4 times, $18,000. Mom's dental and medical, $12,000. Emergency loans never repaid, $9,000. Derek's business investments, $6,000. Total, $252,000. That's a house. That's a luxury car and a house down payment. That's my entire savings I'd been building since I was 22. But wait, it gets better. I decided to do some digital investigation because I was feeling petty and needed to know the truth. I pulled up Jessica's Instagram. Her recent posts were a masterclass in delusional entitlement. Photo of her and Derek at Morton's date night. So grateful for this blessed life. Entrepreneur life. Grateful for manifestation. That dinner was probably $320. I know because I saw the charge on the card I pay for. Picture of her new Lululemon haul. Investing in my health is investing in my business. Self-care isn't selfish. Boss babe, $450 in yoga pants. She doesn't even do yoga. Derek's BMW in the driveway. My man deserves the best. Hard work pays off. Power couple. Success. I'm paying $620 a month for that lease. But the post that really got me was from earlier that day. Christmas Eve vibes with my real family. Sometimes you have to cut out toxic people who bring negative energy to your life. Surrounding myself with winners only. Chosen family. Boundaries matter. Christmas 2023. I was the toxic person for wanting to spend Christmas with my family after funding their entire lifestyle for 7 years. The comments were even better. Derek, baby, you're an inspiration. These energy vampires don't deserve you. Some random girl, Yas Queen, cut off the haters. Derek's mom, whom I'd never met. So proud of you both for knowing your worth. I screenshot everything, every post, every comment, every receipt. Then I started digging deeper. Derek's Instagram was a goldmine of nonsense. Posts about his 6-figure business and passive income streams, photos of him with stacks of cash, probably the $2,500 I'd sent Jessica the week before, videos talking about financial freedom and escaping the matrix. My favorite was a post from last month, just closed another $12,000 month. While most people are stuck in the rat race, I'm building generational wealth. DM me if you're ready to change your life. Entrepreneur mindset, financial freedom. Self-made with my money. I found Derek's YouTube channel too. 15 subscribers, mostly videos of him in the BMW talking about success. One was literally titled How I Went From Broke to Boss in 6 months, posted right after I'd sent them $9,000 for Derek's business emergency. But here's where it got really interesting. I found Jessica's Venmo transactions. She kept her account public because she's not very smart. She'd been sending Derek $1,800 every month, labeled business investment and supporting my CEO. Derek was taking money I sent Jessica, using it to fund his fake lifestyle, then posting about it online like he'd earned it himself. That's when I realized this wasn't just about being excluded from Christmas. This was about 2 parasites who'd built their entire identities around money they'd stolen from me, then had the audacity to call me toxic for expecting basic family respect. I spent the rest of Christmas Eve building a plan, not just to cut them off, but to systematically dismantle everything they'd built with my money. I wanted them to feel exactly as helpless and humiliated as they'd made me feel. See, here's the thing about being in sales. You learn to think strategically. You identify dependencies, trace relationship flows, and find single points of failure. Jessica and Derek's entire life was built on one massive dependency, me. Remove that dependency correctly and everything collapses. I made a list of every account, every payment, every way I was connected to their finances, then prioritized them based on maximum impact. Car payments, credit cards, phone bills, insurance, everything they'd grown dependent on without even realizing it. But I didn't want to just cut them off. I wanted them to understand exactly what they'd lost and why. I wanted them to realize that the toxic loser they'd kicked out of Christmas was the only reason their fake empire existed. By sunrise on Christmas morning, I had a complete plan. It was going to take 3 months to execute properly, but when I was done, their entire world would collapse. And the beautiful part was, they would do most of the work themselves. Christmas morning, I checked out of the hotel and drove straight back to Denver. I didn't even try to see my parents. I was done pretending this was a normal family situation. Jessica texted me around noon. Hope you're not being dramatic about last night. Family dinner is at 2 if you want to come by. At 3, Mom is asking where you are. Don't make this a big thing. At 5, fine, be childish, but you're ruining Christmas for everyone. I didn't respond, but I screenshot everything. Monday morning, I started phase 1, information gathering. I called my parents separately and had the most enlightening conversations of my life. Dad answered on the second ring. Kevin, we missed you at dinner yesterday. Jessica said you had to work. Dad, I drove 7 hours to see you guys, and Jessica told me I couldn't come to the house because I wasn't dressed right for her party. Long pause. What party? The networking event she threw at your house Christmas Eve. You and Mom weren't even there. Another pause. Son, we were at my brother's place because Jessica said you wanted to host a small family gathering and needed the house. She said it was a surprise for us. My blood pressure spiked. She'd lied to both sides. used my name to manipulate our parents into leaving their own home, then thrown a party and kicked me out when I showed up. That's when I knew this wasn't just entitlement, this was calculated manipulation. I started monitoring their social media more carefully. Derek was posting daily about his business success, Jessica about her entrepreneur journey. Every expensive dinner, shopping trip, and investment in their future was documented online, and I could track every dollar. But I wasn't ready to cut them off yet. I wanted them to get comfortable, maybe even more dependent. So I kept paying everything while documenting their lies. January, Jessica called asking for $1,400 for emergency car repairs. 2 days later, she posted Instagram stories from a spa resort. Self-care Sunday. Treat yourself. Blessed. February, $900 for school expenses. The next week, Derek posted how I afford my lifestyle at 29, featuring the new gaming setup he bought with that money. March, Jessica called crying about stress, needed $2,200 for mental health support and therapy. I sent it immediately. Mental health is important. 3 days later, they posted about their weekend in Vegas, Derek throwing money around while Jessica filmed. Caption, living our best life. Money flows to us because we have the right mindset. My money. Literally throwing my money around. This gave me an idea for phase 2. I started engaging with their social media, liking posts, commenting supportive things, even sharing Derek's business advice videos. I wanted them to think I was following their success and maybe felt bad about Christmas. I also started asking Jessica about her business on calls. You guys seem to be doing amazing. Oh my gosh, Kevin, it's been incredible. Derek's business is exploding and my brand is really taking off. We're thinking about getting a bigger apartment soon. That's awesome, Jess. You guys are killing it. I could hear the smugness in her voice. She thought cutting out the toxic family member had unlocked their success. By the end of March, they'd gotten comfortable. Their lifestyle had inflated even more. Derek was talking about buying a house. Jessica was planning Europe. They were making financial commitments based on money that was about to disappear. It was time. April 1st seemed like the perfect day to start phase 2, though the irony wasn't intentional. I called Jessica with an idea that would make everything that followed so much sweeter. Hey Jess, I've been thinking. You and Derek are doing so well with your businesses and I feel bad about how things went at Christmas. I want to make it up to you by investing in Derek's business. Like, seriously investing. Maybe $60,000 to start. The line went quiet. Then, Kevin, wow, that's actually amazing. How much are we talking about? 60,000. But I'd want to be a real partner. See the business plan. Understand the financials. Maybe meet with Derek's team. 60,000? Her voice went up 3 octaves. Holy crap, Kevin, Derek is going to flip. There's just one thing. I'd need proof the business is as successful as you say. Tax returns, bank statements, that kind of thing. Of course. Derek keeps track of everything. We're totally legit. Perfect. Maybe Derek could put together a presentation. I could drive down for a weekend, meet his team, see the operation in person. Yes, Kevin, this is going to be incredible. Derek always says smart money recognizes smart money. Smart money. Right after we hung up, I actually laughed out loud. They thought they were about to scam me out of $60,000. What they didn't realize was that they were about to prove they'd been scamming me all along. Over the next few weeks, Jessica kept me updated. Derek was working 18-hour days on the presentation. They rented office space for the meeting. Jessica bought a new professional wardrobe, all with my money, of course. Meanwhile, I hired my company's forensic accountant. The 52-page report was devastating. They weren't just spoiled family members, they were straight-up thieves with clear intent to defraud. May 3rd, I drove to Kansas. This time I was invited to their apartment, a 2-bedroom place way too expensive for their actual income, decorated like an Instagram influencer's wet dream. Derek answered in a suit that probably cost more than he'd ever earned legitimately. Kevin, brother, so good to see you, man. Are you ready to join our team? Our team. Like I was applying to work for them. Jessica was dressed for a Fortune 500 board meeting. Are you ready to see what real entrepreneurship looks like? The presentation was something else. Derek had clearly binged Gary Vaynerchuk videos and was doing his best motivational speaker impression, talking about disrupting the wellness industry. His slides showed projected revenues that would make him a millionaire in 2 years. The best part was the financials. According to Derek, the business generated $9,500 monthly revenue with 72% profit margins. This is impressive, Derek, I said. I do have questions, though. If you're clearing $6,800 monthly profit, why does Jessica still need emergency money? His smile faltered. Well, we're in a growth phase. Most profit goes back into inventory and marketing. Makes sense. Do you have bank statements showing the business revenue? A lot of our revenue comes through cash and PayPal, so it doesn't all show up in traditional banking. PayPal statements work too, or tax returns. Another glance at Jessica. We're working with a new accountant to get all that organized. I spent another hour asking detailed questions. Every answer revealed another hole. Derek was sweating through his suit. Jessica looked ready to cry. This sounds great, I finally said. I'm definitely interested, but I'll need to review all the financial documentation first. Why don't you send me everything, and I'll have my accountant analyze it? Your accountant? Jessica asked weakly. Oh, yeah. I don't make any investments without professional analysis. This is $60,000 we're talking about. They nodded enthusiastically, but I could see the panic. They just promised financial documents for a business that didn't exist. I'll give you 2 weeks. As I walked to my car, I could hear them arguing through the thin walls about needing to figure this out and make the numbers work. Too late for that, guys. 2 weeks came and went with no documents, just increasingly desperate excuses. Finally, Jessica called crying. Kevin, I need to be honest. Derek's business isn't doing as well as he said. He was trying to impress you. The numbers were projected for next year. So he lied to me about his current revenue. Not lied, just optimistic. Jessica, I asked for current financial statements. If Derek doesn't have $9,500 a month in revenue, what is he actually making? Long pause. It varies month to month. Ballpark. Maybe $450. $450, not $9,500. His business was making less per month than I spend on groceries. Then the truth came out. Combined, they made about $830 a month while posting about their entrepreneur lifestyle and calling me toxic. So how were they affording the apartment, the car, the dinners? Silence. Jessica, I know how you're affording it. The question is whether you're going to be honest with me. She started crying. They never meant for it to get this complicated. It was supposed to be temporary until they got on their feet. They were just faking it till they make it. That's what all the business coaches say. And Christmas? Excluding me was about looking professional in front of Derek's mentor and potential business partners. I was apparently not professional enough to be around their fake business partners. I was the charity case. I pointed out that I'd sent them over $250,000 in 7 years. The crying got harder. We love you, Kevin. The money stuff is just complicated. It's not complicated. I've been funding your fake lifestyle while you lie about me and exclude me from family events. That's theft and abuse. She begged to start over, for things to go back to normal. Normal, where I send money and get treated like garbage? No. Monday morning I started making phone calls. Bank. Report unauthorized use of accounts where I'd added them as authorized users. Car dealership. No longer making payments on Derek's BMW. Apartment complex. Removing myself as guarantor. Jessica. She thought I was calling to make up. When I told her everything was canceled, no more cards, no more car payment, no more money, she panicked. Derek got on the phone. Family helps family, bro. Family also doesn't lie to family, Derek, or steal from them, or exclude them from Christmas dinner. He tried the good salesmanship excuse for the fake numbers. I told them if I'd actually invested the $60,000 based on fraud, they could go to prison. Instead, I was just cutting them off. Within an hour, my parents were calling. I spent 2 hours explaining everything and sent them the screenshots. Mom was quiet for a long time. Honey, we had no idea it was that much money or that they were treating you so badly. I know, Mom. That's why I'm not cutting you and Dad off. This is about Jessica and Derek specifically. 3 days later, the BMW was repossessed in the Target parking lot. Derek posted about it before deleting. A week later, they couldn't make rent. Eviction notice. 2 weeks later, Jessica's Instagram went quiet. No more entrepreneur life posts. No more expensive dinners. No more manifestation quotes. Derek's YouTube posted one final video, why I'm taking a break from content creation. He looked like he'd aged 5 years in 2 weeks. They moved back in with my parents. Jessica started working at the salon with Mom. Derek got a warehouse job. A month later, Jessica sent a long email, no money request, just a real apology. She admitted they'd taken advantage of me, that they'd been living in a fantasy funded by my hard work, that Christmas was unforgivable. Derek had broken up with her the moment the money dried up. His love was as fake as his business. She was in therapy trying to understand why she treated me so badly. The email felt different, painful but honest. I didn't respond immediately. I needed time. 8 months later, Jessica has kept her job and hasn't asked me for a single dollar. She posts about normal life now. She wished me happy birthday last month without mentioning money. Derek moved to another state and blocked me. Good riddance. My parents and I have a better relationship. Without Jessica creating constant drama, we actually talk about real things. I'm not ready to forgive Jessica completely. Trust takes time, and 7 years of lies doesn't get erased by 8 months of good behavior. But I'm not closed to the possibility that someday we might actually be family instead of just relatives. The best part? I've saved $22,000 in the 8 months since I cut them off. Money that would have funded their fake lifestyle is now going into my retirement account where it belongs. Sometimes the best way to help people is to stop helping them. Took me 7 years and $252,000 to learn that lesson, but it was worth every penny to finally get my life back.